Good afternoon to my Lewis Chapel Church family, friends, and guests, and Happy New Year. It is with excitement and anticipation that I extend greetings and welcomes to each of you this afternoon. I am Minister Joyce Johnson Williams. I am the ministry team leader for our women's ministry of Lewis Chapel Missionary Baptist Church. Our theme for the calendar year 2021 is Women Stepping into Greater. We have referenced the scripture taken from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, which reads, "And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore will I rather glory in my infirmities than the power of Christ may rest upon me." We have many opportunities for our women of Lewis Chapel to serve in our various ministries, and some of them include the floral ministry, widows and widowers ministry, cards and communications, book review ministry, women's intercessory prayer ministry, the activities ministry, greeters and hospitality ministry, and daughters of Zion. Our goal for 2021 is to reach as many people as possible through our women's ministry. Our pastor, Reverend Christopher D. Stackhouse, has made it possible for many resources to be available to us so that we leave no one behind. Our topics include conversations that will help us grow spiritually, socially, and topics that provide assistance to help us connect with the right organizations or resources that we may need an answer for. I encourage each of you to be intentional about becoming an active participant within our ministries. God has given all of us unique gifts, talents, and abilities. Let us step into our greater purpose in 2021. For most of us, we step better when others step with us. We step stronger when we step together. We also step with more energy when we have others stepping with the same purpose. Let us all keep stepping with greater purpose. You may contact any of our friends or members of our different ministries if you want to be included. And I also invite each of you viewing today to call a friend, call a family member, and let them know that our first streaming session service for 2021 is on. Thank you, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Hello, Lewis Chapel family and friends, and anyone out there that's watching this today. Today, I'm going to give you a series of individual things that will help you prepare yourself for 2021. And my title will be Investing in Yourself in 2021. It is very, very important to invest in yourself in 2021 because 2020 took us on a roller coaster ride. A ride that we can't or could not get off. But trust and believe, if you invest in yourself in 2021, you will be able to get off that ride, unbuckle that belt, and walk into what I call your destiny of figuring out what you need to do to be successful. The 3 areas that I'm going to be covering today will be, first, making your goals count in 2021. That means reaching your goals. That's going to be an area I'm going to be discussing very shortly. The second area that I'm going to be discussing is time management will become your best friend. Trust and believe, when you think about an hourglass, that time management is going to be very, very important for us all in 2021. And the third area that I will be discussing is setbacks with a positive attitude. Every setback is a set up for a comeback. Rule number 1, don't give up on yourself. And rule number 2, You can take back control at any time. So the first area that I will go into is the several characteristics of effective goals. Challenging those brain cells. Your goals should be realistic as possible and fit just for your present capabilities. You cannot start off being a track runner without learning how to run track. But in order for you to learn how to run track, you got to figure out, do you need to train? Do you have the proper workout gear? Do you have everything it's going to take in order for you to be successful when it comes to you meeting that journey? In order for you to be a successful track runner or just an average track runner, you have to have small progressive steps towards reasonable long-term goals, which at the end will become vital to your success. Also, you must also remember that it's important that when you reach these goals, that you have to push yourself beyond where you were from the beginning. And if you do not do that, you will become bored with yourself, because there's no progression if you don't try to accomplish something when it comes to you becoming that track runner. The second characteristic that I want to go over is obtaining that goal. Every goal that you have must be attainable. Don't take the challenging characteristics as I listed above when it comes into you being a track runner. Make sure you can actually achieve what you're setting out to do. Sometimes we take it upon ourselves not to sit down and figure out what we're set out to do because we want stuff now. But if you notice from the beginning, I told you that you must take baby steps in order for you to reach your long-term goals to become that successful track runner. Otherwise, you will start getting frustrated and you will quit before you even get started. And so you don't want to quit on any of your goals before you get started. So that is a second area that I have discussed. So I'm going to give you some examples in order for you to be a successful track runner, in my personal opinion. Start out with a training 3 days a week. Why I say 3? Because sometimes you can overexert yourself if you decided to do it 5 days a week. Run or walk 20 to 30 minutes 2 days a week. That is starting out for beginner, intermediate, or those that want to say, you know what, I just want to see how this feels. But 20 to 30 minutes at your own pace. It is very, very important that you start out with your own pace and not try to figure out what your battle buddy is doing to your right, what they're doing to your left, but figure out what you're going to do to accomplish your 20 to 30 minutes. Then when you realize that you can either walk or run, the next time that you go out for that next following week, try to do 40 minutes. You will be amazed that you can go from 20 to 30, now you're at 40 minutes, and towards the end of the journey, you'll remember that you're somewhere close to meeting 60 minutes of walking or running. Rest. It is very, very important that as you realize at the beginning, I talked about 2 days a week, right? But within that 2 days a week time frame, you must have a rest day. My rest day is always on a Wednesday. Don't know why they call it Hump Day Wednesday. So I took Wednesday as my rest day. Rest is very, very important for you as you try to reach what you call your characteristic goals, because you got to rest your muscles, you got to rest your body, and you got to make sure that you do not overexert things too fast and too quick and end up giving up on it, because you end up realizing that it has become boring to you. So you got to continue to make it fun in your life. While you're running or walking, have a conversation with yourself. If not a conversation with yourself, have it with your battle buddy to your left or your battle buddy to your right. But sometimes it's all right to have a conversation with yourself. If you're not conversating with yourself, then sing a song. Sometimes singing a song can help motivate, but most important, put a smile on your face, because you realize that somewhere down the line there's a finish line. A finish line to where you started from, and a finish line from where you're going to end at. Consider taking regular walk breaks. That means on your journey, from your 20 to your 30 minutes, realize that during that 20 and 30 minutes, your legs may get tired, your arms may get tired. Take a break. Pull over to the side of the road, or wherever you decide to be at, whether you're at work, take a break. Breathe in and blow it out. Get some of that fresh air in order for you to understand the importance that you've got to take breaks also when you're trying to obtain your goals. The next area that's also going to be considered into the goals is be specific. Try to always put your best foot forward every time you take a step in your goals. You need to define some very specific concrete and measurable action steps that tell you what your goals look like in real life terms. Sometimes we live in this fairy tale world where we don't realize that real life terms is what's going to have you accomplish real life goals. Include how you will measure your results so you can tell whether you are getting anywhere. Sometimes in life we don't like to measure everything because we want stuff right now. And we got to realize in life, in order for us to put our best foot forward, we got to take baby steps in order for us to walk into our destiny and to run into our dreams. The next area I will cover that deals with goals is goals need to come with a deadline and a due date. Otherwise, they will fade away in the background with your daily responsibilities. So you got to be able to juggle your daily responsibilities and your goals. But then you got to have a due date. It's just like you actually making a decision that, guess what? You want to get married. You're not just going to jump into the marriage. You're going to pre-plan your marriage, whether it's going to be a year out, whether it's going to be 6 months. So you got to make sure that you have a due date when it comes to you delivering your goals. Short-term, mid-terms, and long-term goals are very, very important. If your long-term goals is going to take a little while for you to reach, create some intermediate goals in order for you to conquer your short goals. In closing, in this area, remember, meeting your goals is 90% having a positive attitude. No one is perfect, and you're going to have some good days and some bad days where you just don't want to set yourself up for success. But you have to figure out how to motivate yourself. And sometimes in life we focus so much on others motivating us. So what I tell you as we approach, or while we're in 2021, allow yourself to motivate yourself. Make sure you're building up some good stress, manageable habits and tools to help you deal with those gloomy days. Because sometimes in life we will allow the burdens of ourselves and others to stop us from having that positive attitude. The second area that I will discuss is time management. As I told you in my slides, time management in 2021 will become your best friend. Time management is going to be crucial because we got to figure out how to balance back to the new normal. The new normal is going to take some time. If you realize what we're going through right now, this mask that we have to wear on a regular basis is probably going to be the new normal for a minute. So we got to figure out how to balance our life with time management when it comes to family, when it comes to work, but most important when it comes to us. So the alarm clock just went off, and you're stretching your body out, and you're trying to figure out what is going to take place next. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to look myself in the mirror, and I'm going to start myself off with a clear focus. Because sometimes when we get up, we don't start with a clear focus because we're still bound by issues that got us mentally drained throughout the night. So if nothing else, prior to you getting into the shower or making up your bed, go turn the light on. Take a look in the mirror and see if your focus is clear enough in order for you to start your day. The first work-related activity of your day should be determine what you want to achieve that day and what you absolutely want to accomplish. Come clear on this purpose before you check your emails and start responding to queries and solving everybody else's issues, including your issues. Setting a clear focus for your day might require a little of 5 to 10 minutes, but can save you several hours of wasting time each and every day. The second portion of time management is having a powerful task list. Capture the tasks and activities you must do on a list and update it regularly every day. Why do I say regularly every day? Because you tend to forget. So if nothing else, find you a journal and start putting down all the things that you want to accomplish. If you have to do the step-by-step method, then write down number 1. Number 2, however far it takes you. And at the same time, while you're writing it down, revisit this list frequently and add new ideas as soon as they appear. But as they appear, they may appear with you listening to a song or even a coworker coming and they saying something, and the first thing comes to your mind, oh my God, I need to add that to my list. So add that to your powerful list when it comes to time management. Make sure your list gives you a quick overview of everything that is urgent and important in your life. Because in order for you to build up activities, you got to be able to have an operational task list to prepare yourself for the upcoming tasks that's going to be at hand. Number 3, focus on activities that matters to you. Before you start something new, identify the activities that would have the most positive effect on your project, your team, and your clients if you were to deal with it right now. Sometimes at work, probably even at home, things get thrown to you, and you don't even know why they're throwing it to you from time to time. So what you got to realize is you got to figure out how to resist the temptation to clear small, unimportant items first that get thrown your way and start with what is most important to you. That means you have to tell people, stop. Let me figure this thing out first in order for you to get back on the right path. If not, then they're going to allow you to take a detour. And if you do decide to take a detour during that time frame, remember, it's all right to get back on track. So, to help you to assess which activities to focus on first, here are a list of questions that I'm just going to throw out to you. What do my employees, family members, or any of my teammates need most from me right now? If you notice, I didn't ask myself, what do I need from me right now? So let's erase all those other people that I talked about first and start putting into the equation, what do I need from me right now? Everybody else, put them on the back burner. Put them on a pause for a cause, because now you have to focus on your time management. What are you going to need for you right now in order for you to make sure you balance your personal and your professional life? What will cause the most problems if it doesn't get done? What will cause the most problems for you if a task does not get done when it comes to you making sure that you are healthy, making sure that you are taking everything that you need to do in perspective? What is the biggest contribution or factors that you can do for yourself right now? Because sometimes in life, we sometimes drift on everybody else's drumbeat. So can I share something with you? In 2021, start drifting on your own drumbeat when it comes to you investing time in yourself. Minimize interruptions, distractions that may put you in a holding pattern. And what I mean by a holding pattern, you're stuck and you have no way out. So turn off the phone, turn off the TV, and meditate at the task at hand when it comes to you. The more uninterrupted time you get during the day to work out important tasks, the more effective you will be. Identify the activities that tend to disrupt you and figure out what the solution is for you. Basically, one of the most essential time management skills is to not get distracted. Because if you get distracted, once again, it'll throw you off course. The next area that I'm going to cover before I go into the last area is review your day. If you remember at the beginning, I told you sometimes in life we like to rush. We don't even like to turn our computers off from home or from work because we know that it's 4 o'clock somewhere, it's 3 o'clock somewhere, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, but we never ever review what we need to do for the next day. So in 2021, part of your time management process should be review for the next day. Spend at least 5 to 10 minutes to review your task list every day before you leave home or leave work. Give yourself a round of applause or pat yourself on the back if you achieved what you wanted. If you think your day effort took a detour, then do something different the next day to get you back on track. Leave your workplace or home in high spirits, determined to pick up the thread the next day. Give these essential time management skills a concrete effort and find your days and project it running much more smoother than what it was yesterday. My last area that I will get into is setbacks. Setbacks, setbacks, setbacks. If you notice in my slides, setbacks with a positive attitude in 2021. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Turning a setup into a success. If you notice, you're driving on 295 now, and you realize as you get close to your destination, there is a detour. There is a yield sign. And you're trying to figure out, will this take me off course? So what I'm going to tell you as we are in 2021, it won't. Because sometimes you got to be able to be set up to take a detour in order for you to see why that setback was taking place in the first place. Number one, don't give up on yourself. I know in 2020, a lot of us had some rough days. But I tell you in 2021, make your setbacks your comebacks. Rule number two, you can take back control at any time. It's just like you driving your car and you're trying to figure out if you're going to swerve to the right, swerve to the left. Take control of that steering wheel and get back on course. Because sometimes in life, we realize that if I swerve to the right, man, I'm going to end up drifting into the ditch. But you're not going to stay in that ditch always, because either somebody's going to tow you out, or either somebody's going to stop to try to have to figure out to put you back on the right track. But then at the same time, as you were getting into that setback mode, you realized that something took place. And that place was that distraction that was part of your time management. If you notice, we talked about the distractions in your life that could have caused you to have that setback. Failure is part of a moving forward. As the setback take a toll on you mentally and physically, you must embrace your failures with open arms and deal with obstacles by breaking them down into the smallest module and trying then positively to affect each part in its own unique way. It's just like you popping popcorn. Popcorn in some people's mind can be a setback because you don't even know when each and every kernel is going to pop. Even though the bag said 235, within that 2 minutes and 35 seconds, you may only hear in the first 30 seconds 3 kernels popping. Because the rest of them trying to figure out, am I still bound by setbacks, or will I have a comeback if this whole entire bag of popcorn get popped when the blinker goes off on that microwave? You will face challenges and adversity. So recognize that dealing with failures and setbacks is a part of moving forward. No one wants to fail, but thinking that you will never fail is unrealistic. Take responsibility for your part in the failure so that you can learn from it. Sometimes in life we are so afraid to learn from our mistakes, but do you know that I always believe as I was growing up as a young kid, that my grandma used to always say, in order for me to be a test of my own testimony, I got to go through things in life. And so, yeah, I had to go through setbacks in order for me to come back and take over me all over again. After experiencing a setback, recognize that you would need some time to process what just happened to you and actually take the time to do it. It's hard to say how much time this might be, but don't expect to be feeling perfectly fine by the next day. It just depends on how big the obstacle or the failure that took place in your life. The next area in the setback that I'm going to discuss is take a break. Sometimes our body moves 150 miles per hour, and we refuse to take a break. So as I continue to go back to what I call time management, and also I realized that I decided to look at the hourglass. The hourglass, sometimes the sand just runs completely out, then you got to flip it back over again to start all over again. What I tell you is before you start that hourglass back over again, once all the sand gets down to the second portion, before you flip it back over, let it stay there. Get out your office. Get out your building. Get out your house. Take your heels off if you're a woman. Put on your running shoes. If you are a male, put on some comfortable walking shoes. Leave and take a break. Free your mind. Meditate your mind. Get all the distractions from things that have been bound you down and figure out, what can I do for me? What can make me happy? What can make me successful? What can make me come back from these setbacks that have allowed me to just give up on life? Because that's what a lot of us did in 2020. We gave up. But I'm here to tell you that your setbacks will become your comebacks. If you take baby steps in everything that I'm telling you right now. Because these are just my opinions, but trust and believe my opinions should matter to somebody out there. Because somewhere down the line, all it takes is for someone to coach, mentor, and train someone in order for us to know that, guess what, we can't make it in this world by ourselves. So in order for us to do what we need to do, we need to do something fun. Go outside, take a break from social media, and just give that mind a break. That left and that right side of the brain, it is literally tired. It's tired of all the issues that you deal with day in and day out. As we always know, it's a 24-hour day period, but within that 24-hour day period, you have to ask yourself, how much sleep do you get throughout the day? Are you worrying about what your boss is going to say if you don't finish something that you started that morning time? And so if nothing else, relax, take a break. Also during that time frame that you're out of your office and you're just spending time with yourself, find a hobby that is healthy for you. It is hard to bounce back if you have nowhere to turn to when you're in pain. And what I mean by that, sometimes in life we don't understand the importance that pain comes in different shapes, sizes, and forms. But sometimes we do self-inflicted pains to ourselves, and we do it over and over and over again. So what I tell you is, figure out how to take your daily responsibilities and get it out your goals. I told you you gotta have a due date. Make that due date part of your comeback, so it won't continue to become or be always your setbacks. Reflect with family, sisterhood, and brotherhood. When you experience a failure, after you care about those that care about you for their honest feedback, if you notice towards the end, I'm bringing in everybody in the equation now. They will give you sincere feedback. And that's why it's so important when you decide to take time out for yourself throughout this journey of 2021. Now it's time to bring everybody around your table, because now you want them to give you positive feedback on who you have become over this month, over this season, or over these seasons as you have invested time in yourself now. Finally investing time in yourself. They will hopefully give you sincere feedback, let you vent, and provide the support and encouragement to help you take positive steps towards moving forward in your life. Be careful that your mentor doesn't just allow you to vent and blame others. So you got to find that confidant out there. That confidant going to be able to tell you not what you want to hear, but they're going to tell you the truth, because they're going to be saying to you, hopefully, these words. Man, I've been waiting on you to find yourself. I've been waiting on you to give back time to yourself. I've been waiting on you to just take the weight of everything else and everybody else off your shoulders and just start investing in yourself. That only makes it harder for you to take responsibilities and positive steps. Last and not least, as I close out this, is that I want to go into one little area, and that is the power of a positive attitude. Be sure to keep a positive outlook as we engage the target in 2021. No matter how hard this may be. This is especially important if you are a leader, and I say a leader because we all are leaders. Even though leaders can fall in a balance of followers, because sometimes we got to follow a leader must follow each other. But right now I'm speaking to all of us, because we all should be considered leaders going into 2021. If your team just got taken off of an important project and everyone is scared about their job, you need to demonstrate a positive attitude for them. And you know why? Because over the course of you finding yourself, you have invested your goals, your time management, and also your setbacks, which have become your comebacks. So now they're relying on you to help them get through something that you ain't never ever got through before. And that is now having what you call the 90% positive attitude. They will look at you now for guidance. You are more calmer when it comes to critically helping others, and you are one of the main reasons why the team is moving forward. So when I told you to applaud yourself, when I told you to pat yourself on the back, because 2021 is all about finding you, but most important, investing in you in order for you to understand why you went through so much in 2020. It wasn't all about COVID-19. Yeah, that played a major role. But ask yourself this question. Why was my life put on pause when I didn't ask for my life to put on pause? It was put on pause for a reason. And sometimes in life, we have to realize the reason why our life is put on pause is because we need to slow down. Take a look at the clear picture, but most important, have a clear focus when you look yourself in the mirror. Reflections. As you reflect on everything that I have told you thus far, remember that your life matters. Remember that we will all continue to move forward in everything that we do. As we approach all the goals, in order for us to be successful, which there's more goals than you could ever imagine, but you got to be able to set the goals that's fit for you. We all was placed here on this earth for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. So figure out what your goals are, but most important, figure out what your talents are. I talked to you about time management. Time management is very, very important, especially in 2021, because we cannot get back the time that we lost in 2020. Can we gain time and still embrace it in a 24-hour period day by creating more work and more investment when it comes to loving ourselves unconditionally? And our setbacks, as I said, our setbacks will become our comebacks. If you just remember that when you decide to take a detour or a U-turn, your finish line will always be there waiting on you. Thank you, and have a great American Day.
Sister Murray, thank you for presenting and sharing great goal-setting strategies for us to implement for 2021. We can now unleash the power of setting goals and meeting deadlines. We can also make 2021 a fabulous year. We're going to invest in ourselves. I am thankful for you allowing God to use you and for you being a strong supporter of our women's ministry. To all of our other participants, thank you as well. And our viewing audience, we can't make this a reality without your support. Thank you. Reverend Stackhouse and the Lewis Chapel Church family, we express our deepest thanks and prayers to each of you in support of the women's ministry services and events. Reverend Stackhouse, you have truly nudged me on along the way, and you have embraced the women's ministry with 100% of your support, prayers, and wisdom. Thank you for being a strong visionary and so full of wisdom. Let us pray. Lord God, I am thankful for your presence. God, we give you praise, honor, and Father, you are the light of this world. It is because of you, God, we do not live in darkness. God, help each of us to be faithful to you, to serve you with humility and love. God, we thank you for the viewing audience. We thank you, God, for our participants. And God, most of all, we thank you for your Son, Jesus the Christ. Help us to be everything that you want us to be. Help us to always be in your will. As we conclude this service, God, we do not dismiss ourselves from you, for you are with us at all times. God, we are never out of your sight. Father, help us to walk by faith and not by sight. We are thankful for you knitting us together as family.